Welcome to the Soul Flow podcast with Steph, Aysha, and Josie. We are spiritual life coaches. Join us in our flow as we share our journey towards our soul's purpose while co-creating a conscious community and raising your vibration. Get ready to meet your highest self and discover your true, unique power. Let's dive right in.
I am here with my sisters, Josie and Aysha, and today we will be diving into the Dharma Archetypes.
Yes. Thank you, Steph, for that. Like Steph said, we are diving into the Dharma Archetypes today. That being said, Aysha, how are you doing today? How are you feeling, Queen?
Oh my God. I am genuinely highly blessed and so favored to be here. I say that every time, but I am feeling so good. It is a new moon. And like, what a better way to begin this journey with you too. For the divine feminine, we are gathering as the divine feminine rises in Steph and Josie, and I get to be here on this path with them to guide them, to guide others, to guide myself. So honored and excited for this new path for us. I really feel that with us three right here, mind, body, soul. The three, number three is such a beautiful high vibrational number. And I feel that right now. So that is how I am feeling, Josie.
Amazing. Yes, I feel the vibration as you spoke, Aysha. I love that.
Yeah, I feel like these words that come to mind right now, the divine feminine rising,
absolutely,
especially embracing my femininity and this season of just surrendering, trusting, and going with the flow, letting go of control. And I feel so calm and peaceful in this moment.
I've seen both of yours feminine energy just rise and rise over the past couple of months. And today, both of you guys are glowing. That light is exuding from within. And the more you develop this in you, the more it will glow. And yeah, so this is our new revolution.
Yes. Celebrate.
Yes, I love it. Actually, talking about stepping into femininity, what came to mind is it's not easy. It's not easy being from the masculinity, growing up with that, doing mindset and stepping into and balance the masculine and feminine. And that kind of leads me to the Dharma archetypes, because the Dharma archetypes have a sense of masculine and feminine within them. So as we talked about before, actually, I don't know if we talked about it, Dharma, to live your Dharma or discover your Dharma, it's to live your soul's purpose, to understand your soul's purpose. It's a Sanskrit word for soul's purpose. So we are going to talk about the 9 different Dharma archetypes. They are the warrior, the activist, the entertainer, the researcher, the artist, Aysha, the artist, Steph, the entrepreneur. Oh, Steph is also the visionary, the nurturer, which is mine and Aysha's, yes, and the teacher.
Amazing.
So which one do you resonate with?
So before we talk about what we resonate with, I just wanted to give a quick recap of the Dharma, right? We talked about Dharma, which is our soul's purpose, so the reason why we are here. And with that, to support that, we come with natural gifts. So I think these archetypes are very interesting because instead of like oh, this sounds good, let me do this. It's more so, what do I naturally like exude? What energy naturally comes out of me? Because most of this is in us ever since we're young too. Like kids who are artists, they want to paint, they're creative ever since they're young, right? And people who are like visionaries. Steph, you talk about having visions even when you were younger, right?
Mhm.
So it has to do with what's already in you. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, Aisha, I think that it changes and one is more dominant
Mm.
depending on what season you're in life. I know that happens with me. Sometimes I'm more of a nurturer and sometimes more of my teacher comes out too. Um, so we're going to provide the archetype for us, but when you take it, just know like it can change depending on what season you're in.
And it's really helpful to know your archetype because it allows you to tap more into those superpowers and tells you like, oh, like this is kind of this archetype that I really resonate with. So yeah, let me enhance this energy more. Or what's the light aspect of it? What's the shadow aspect of it? And just it's another tool to basically get to know yourself better, get to know your soul's purpose better. That's why it's so interesting to learn these things, because look at us, like we lead with ours, right? Like, so let's just share ours. So my top two, I would say, are artist and nurturer.
My top one is the nurturer, which I'm pretty consistently the nurturer. I think my second one is the teacher.
Mm, mm.
So when I took the quiz, my primary is actually teacher and my secondary is nurturer. Which
Wow.
I was surprised because when I thought of teacher, I thought of like, okay, like school was not my thing growing up and I barely paid attention. I got good grades and I did well. But when I thought of teacher, I'm like, okay, like give me a whiteboard, like very black and white, very just, let me just teach. And it just didn't sound exciting. And I didn't see that in myself. But then the more that I thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, I am a teacher in my daily life, like being a coach. I'm teaching, being a personal trainer, starting off as a personal trainer, and then going into functional health. I taught health and fitness, workouts, how to eat healthy, how to take care of your gut, your hormones, and then stepping into, being a soul purpose coach. Teaching people how to step into their soul purpose and discovering their dharma. I guess I can see that more and more. But initially I was like, I am not a teacher. I actually see myself more as the visionary because even as a little kid, I would have all these crazy visions of how I wanted my life to be, what I wanted to do, where do I want to live, what kind of love do I want? What kind of friends do I want? I always envisioned it all and I still do. I envisioned birthing this podcast. And so even though I took this quiz, I feel like I resonate more with being the visionary. And I believe there's no right or wrong. We can tap into any archetype at
Mhm.
any time. The nurture I do see in myself as well because I do have a big heart and I lead with my heart always. I always lead with love. And everything I do, I always feel my heart center.
Mm.
So I do feel like my nurture archetype is present
Mhm.
very consistently in my life. But also the entrepreneur I resonate with, just being an entrepreneur for many years and having to fend for myself, and taking care of myself, being independent. So I feel
Mm.
like I resonate with the couple, more so visionary and entrepreneur, but the nurture definitely is present at all times.
Guys, I just realized something. I think it's our water signs. I'm a Scorpio, Steph is a Cancer, and Josie is a Pisces. Like all that watery feminine energy is naturally nurturing. Like it's just something that's in our nature. Because I've been this way my whole life, I could say. Even when I tried to hide it, that's what we Scorpios do. We we try to hide it. We try to mask it.
Really? Is that a common
Yeah.
theme? Okay.
That is a very scorpionic trait, I would say, right? Because the Scorpio goes under the sand.
Oh, and try it. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. But
And I
yeah,
feel Cancer that hides in the shell.
yeah.
Hides in the shell. And you gotta crack open that shell to get to our soft side.
But yeah, we definitely have I think that's really sweet that we all have like the nurturing archetype within us. And I would say in my top 5, I definitely have the teacher too as like a natural guide, as wanting to not wanting, being a Dharma coach. When this episode airs, we graduate tomorrow.
Yes. It's been a journey. It's been a beautiful journey.
Beautiful
Mhm.
journey. I'm so proud of us.
Mhm.
But
I
yeah, as a projector too, I genuinely I do feel like a natural guide. So I don't really resonate with the word teacher, but the word guide, I do resonate with that word. So,
Mm.
but I think it's lies within the same archetype.
Initially, when I saw all of the 9 different archetypes, and without taking the quiz, I just thought to myself, what do I see myself as? And I thought entertainer because when I'm with my friends, I am the entertainer. I'm fun. I'm fun to be around. I'm outgoing. I am funny. My friends always saw me as like the entertainer, and I just like to have fun. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the entertainer." And then when I took the quiz, I'm like, "Oh my god, it's not even in my top."
The entertainer actually is in my top 5. Because I love to dance. And when I dance,
Mm,
I'm like so in the flow of it, but I feel like belly dance is kind of an entertaining dance anyways. So I definitely feel like so much energy when I dance, and like I could dance for hours. Like I have been so sore this weekend because I was in Dallas and I danced so much, and I'm so sore, like I did like heavy lifting from just dancing. I was dancing all night. So all these archetypes, right? It's like what things do we naturally do that brings out this version, this side of us that feels so good. And again, we can look at their light and shadow aspects. Like for the entertainer, right? It's loving how good it feels to feel like center stage, but then also realizing that that's also not life everywhere you go, and you don't have to have the spotlight all the time. And that's okay. That's okay too. So, kind of like learning that as an artist, I would say I think motivation is a big, like, inspiration is a big
mm,
thing to work with as an artist because it's not always there. And learning like the ebbs and flows of being an artist and how I like to just really like bring that art into everything, not just the paintings I do, but like in the way I dress myself and the way I present myself and the way I create this space in my room, like creating, it's like just tapping into that creative energy, like us even coming together and creating this podcast has fulfilled my artistic nature, you know.
Yeah. I think artist is probably more towards the top for me, which is crazy because I would not picture myself an artist. But I notice when I'm
I so see it.
creating more, even little things like on social media, and I sit down, I get so inspired, and the words just come to me, and like certain videos and pictures come to me, and I see the beauty. I see the beauty.
That
Yeah.
feminine energy, my love.
Yes. Another one that I resonate with too, another archetype is the researcher. I love to research things um, to understand it on a deeper level. I guess that goes with learning too. Like I always want to learn new things as well and be like a full spectrum of like knowing. That's
Mm.
not to say I can retain it all because my memory is so bad.
Mhm. That's a very Aquarian way of looking at things. You have Aquarius in your chart too, very air sign. Yeah, the intellects, the intellectual, and that's more of that masculine
Mm.
archetype, right? Because we are in this age of like intellect and technology, and so much is like happening like with the newer generations and the technology that's coming, like I'm younger and I feel like I don't know so much about technology these days. And that's only going to increase. So I think that's a superpower, Josie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I feel like you can choose which archetype you want to spotlight at any time. I
Mhm.
know this past couple months, I've been intentional about bringing out the artist side
Mm.
of me. And I feel like once I put that out, once I expressed it, I even remember letting you ladies know that I wanted to get back into playing guitar and getting into dancing, salsa and bachata and showcasing. I was like, I know she's in there. and and I feel like yeah, I've been showcasing her this past couple months and lately I feel like the artist in me has been dominating the
Oh.
stage a little bit more. Not to say, I still have the other archetypes in me, but I feel like you can choose which one you want to bring out at any given time.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually thinking of warrior, the warrior
I
archetype
was
as
about
well
to
for
talk
you,
about
Steph.
the warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like you know what you want, right? Yeah, that's it. You know what you want. You won't do anything. You won't let anything get in the way of you reaching your visions and your goals. And
Mm.
yeah, and you own it and you're good. But I love how you said you can shine light on whichever one you want to be more of. So,
Hmm. And that
uh,
goes for any one of our listeners. We have different archetypes. You all have different archetypes in you, and you can tap into anyone at any given time.
And this is like not just in this course that we're studying, like this is like in psychology too. There's like parts of us that live within our minds that stay dormant until they're like awakened, right? I feel like the warrior for a lot of women is like this last resort when it comes out when it needs to. Like that's how it's been for me. I have like a secret major warrior archetype that like I never let out. And it's like if you really know me, then you know that, oh wow, there's like this super feisty side to her. And I just kind of keep her locked away and hidden. But exactly, that's kind of like a shadow for me to like this year I've been integrating more of that masculine energy, the warrior energy to like come up and balance out my feminine energy. And it's been very helpful actually. And I'm like, oh wow, I can express my anger because that's one of the emotions I think I mentioned before
mhm.
that I struggle with expressing the most. Yet I feel like I have a lot of. So being able to like, I feel like these knowing these archetypes that like this is something that really resonates with me and this lives within me, like oh it needs to be expressed, like we have these again, like they're our gifts really, I believe, and they need to be expressed, and when we express them that's really serving us, and this is why we're here sharing this with you all.
Hmm.
And
How about the
lastly,
activist?
yeah, lastly, go ahead.
The activist, I feel like I actually resonate with the least.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't really, or maybe not to say I don't have the activist in me. I just have not tapped into that
mm.
archetype at all, really. I'm not a political person. I'm not really controversial. I'm not really, I don't know. I have yet to tap into that side of me.
I can say that I resonate with the activist. I'm very passionate and I don't
Very
talk about it as much, but I am so passionate right now about changing our healthcare system from
Mm.
pushing prescription drugs to, yeah, just pushing prescription drugs on people and not seeing them as a whole person. And I think that is my mission, honestly. I That's my vision, is to help change it from just like healthcare and change it to natural medicine. ancient wisdom, stuff that's always worked, and bringing it back to the ancient wisdom and natural healing modalities. And I think the more we talk about it, open people's eyes to see what's out there, the more that people will try new things. Because at the end of the day, you own your body. The only person that cares more about your body is, well, there's nobody that cares more about your body and your mental health but you. And so you need to take charge and do whatever it takes to heal yourself. And I would love to push, I would love to push people that way.
She is passionate.
Yes.
I felt that. I felt that too.
And I would love to have guests come on here and talk about different natural healing modalities like Reiki, tapping,
What we eat, right? Our
acupuncture.
nutrition.
Yeah. I mean, Steph, you can definitely talk about all that stuff too. So
What a divine feminine thing that you have just mentioned, Josie, because our bodies is our vessel. And this is for everybody. Like, our souls reside within our vessels. And, we talk about the mind, body, soul connection, and it all being integrated and aligned. And the more we heal one aspect, the more it helps the other and the other. And we kind of go in this like forward momentum of healing. So it just brings it all together. As for the activist, I right now really see it raising in the collective consciousness because of everything that's been happening in the world. Like, there's war, there's so much propaganda, all these different sides, different aspects. Again, I'm kind of with you, Steph, and I don't want to get too political because people just get so nasty about it. And that's not the energy I want to bring. I want to bring the energy of peace. And I like the peaceful protests people do, and like the peaceful way about going when there's so much conflict in the world, because I believe hate cannot outwin hate. Only love can. And so where can I bring more peace and harmony in my life? And piece by piece, we all do that. And that's going to bring the collective consciousness up. And I believe that's genuinely like the purpose of the activists is to serve humanity. And I believe in a way us just being here together, us wanting to serve humanity is us being in our activists. Steph, you're already in it. You don't even know.
I didn't even know. You don't know what you don't know. Well, now it's
now you know. Now you all know.
Yeah, we brought it to my conscious awareness. Thank you, Aysha.
It's as simple as that. And now you know. Now your consciousness has been raised.
Yeah.
I love that, though. That's a good point. That's definitely a good point, Aysha.
Yeah. So simple, yet so powerful, and that's why we really encourage you guys to take this quiz and just get to know a little bit more about yourself, because we've gotten to know more about ourselves, and it has only served me, to be honest, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for somebody who's on that journey of self-discovery, of really wanting to discover who they are, their gifts, how they want to show up in this world, and how they want to serve, it's a good way to, it's a good starting point to figure out what is your primary and secondary Dharma archetype, and see how you've already shown up in that way, and how you can allow yourself to step into the other archetypes, because essentially you can step into all 9 of them at any given time. So it brings light into discovering who you are as an individual.
It's about how you function, right? It's about how we function in this world, and many of the tools we're going to share here on our platform, just here to serve you.
It's a modality. Yeah.
To a deeper connection within yourself. And when we connect deeper within ourselves, we connect deeper with our family, friends, neighbors, co-hosts, the world, makes the world a brighter place.
I know we all crave connection, right? Connection is so important, but it's the most important connection that you can have is the connection that you have with yourself, most importantly.
That's one of our biggest purpose here that Steph always says. This is she called in this podcast with her heart, and we are a heart-led podcast.
So lead with your heart, everyone.
Yes.
And not to say it didn't happen overnight. I've led with my logical brain for many years. And so
it's an integration of both, but I think most people put their hearts on the back burner, and that's why we see so much conflict in the world right now, right?
what's going on? Yep.
We need people to lead more with their heart. Yeah, absolutely.
To drop in the heart center and stop reacting and responding so quickly, and just feel. Sometimes just, feeling what's going on and not put so much, emphasis on like overanalyzing and thinking.
Overthink.
Yep. That's me. That's what I do. I overthink, and I'm connecting to my divine self every day. It takes work, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it. And that's all you can do, is just continue to connect to yourself and hear that message that your soul's trying to tell you. Soul flow. Soul flow.
Soul flow.
That's the realest message you could have given to our listeners, Josie. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge how beautiful it is to see this journey of you, because it's already reflecting in your outer space, and I can feel it radiating from you. Like these past couple of weeks when we were kind of in the transition, I had many anxieties come up, and you were able to just like stand in with this like divinity, and I could tell it was led from God because you'd been connecting to God, and it grounded me. So I thank you, and I see that in you, and it's shining. It's shining.
Oh, thank you, Aysha. Thank you.
Everybody's shining right now. I see the glow in everyone.
Yes.
Each and every one of you ladies.
Oh, it's so good to be here. It's so good to be here.
For our listeners who are wanting to take the Dharma Archetype quiz, the link will be in our show notes. And for those of you who are wanting to connect further with Josie, Aysha, or myself, or us three, you can find us on our Instagram handles, which are, if you're watching the video, is on the screen. But you can find us at The Divine Self by Josie, Flow with Aysha, and Soul Glow Coaching, which my other Instagram is on here. But it's okay. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to our next episode. And remember, find what makes your soul flow. Until next time.
Soul flow, soul flow, soul flow.